very strange festival. We are expected to have fun. We are expected to enjoy ourselves no matter what, which is very hard sometimes. And I know that some people want to have fun, but find that they're guilty about it. So, and I think they feel guilty doing it. But I think that if we, looking at the history of Jewish people, if we were very sad about every single event in the world and in life and in history, there would not be a day where we would be allowed to enjoy our lives. And this is why, whatever happens in the world, I think it's important to have Purim as an act of protest against this world. There was a rabbi called Rabbi Nachman from Bratslav, quite a famous Hasidic rabbi who lives in Ukraine. By the way, who lived in Ukraine in a very, very difficult time, in the time of pogroms against Jewish people. And he said, despite all of it, he wrote a book, a very spiritual book called Likutei Maharan. And it's a very famous phrase from that book, says, Mitzvah gdola liyot besimcha tamid. It is a great commandment to always live and enjoy your life. Always. And he saw this smiling, laughing, and enjoying your life, being joyful as an act of protest. So whatever, if they want you to be sad, I will deliberately enjoy my life. And this is what we are going to do today. Even those who feel a bit guilty for enjoying your life in this world, for this half an hour of reading, and then later for the rest of the evening, please enjoy your life. For that, we are going to read our Megillah, we are going to enjoy our event afterwards, and we are going to have fun, but fun with meaning. By the way, the costume I am wearing today is called The Rise of the Right Wing. And that leads me to special noises that we are going to make today. So you see that Rabbi Alex is distributing groggers and different noise-making machines. And this is because every time you hear the name of the villain of the story, the name of Haman, you make a lot of noise. So, but the question is, let's do it again. What do you do when you hear the name of Harry? That's right, you do nothing. What do you do if you hear the name of Haman? By the way, do you know that in Hebrew, the name Haman, so the name Haman in Hebrew sounds like Aman. Just to say. However, there are other names rather than Haman. Good. And these names are Esther. Yes, you do. Let's agree that when you hear the name Esther, you clap your hands and say something cheerful. Esther! Excellent. So when you hear, there is another character in the story whose name is Mordechai, who is Esther's cousin or uncle. We don't really know. So one of these, a relative, Esther's relative, older relative. So when you hear Mordechai, let's all shout hooray! Okay? Yeah. So, but let's just repeat again. What do you do when you hear the name of Esther? What about Haman? What about Mordechai? So there are ambiguous characters in the story as well. For example, the king Ahasuerus. So we don't know. So we are not sure about it. So let's agree that for Ahasuerus we would do. I heard a suggestion from James. So we are not sure about this character. It's kind of not bad character. It's not a villain. Is it a good character? Maybe he acted nicely at the end, but we don't know. But he was drunken king as well. So something like okay. There's also, and if you want to make any other noises during the play, please do. Okay. So. We are about to begin, and I would like to invite our first group of readers. Please join me on the upper bima. And I know that Alexander, reader 3, is on Zoom today. Sorry, reader C. So the third Hebrew readings will be on Zoom, and I'm telling it to the camera operator. All readers, please find any chair on the bima, on the upper bima, lower bima, doesn't matter. Somebody can be here, somebody can be upstairs, and This is, by the way, the first time in the history of the LJS when the Megillah will be read as... we don't need Zoom now, I just want to say. It's only later. Yes. We will be... the Megillah will be read by a Spider-Man. And I think that the main lesson of the story is very close to the Marvel universe. With great power comes great responsibility. And I think that when you hear the story, I think this is exactly... why don't you sit here? Okay. Are you ready? Yes. A few years ago, I had this idea that I could read a part while juggling. So I failed. So now I'm going to try reading the blessings while standing on my hands. Please raise your hands if you think I can do it. Please raise your hands if you think there's no way I can do it. Yes, you're right. There's no way I can do it, and I'm not even going to try. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzevanu al mikra Megillah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim la'avoteinu bayamim hahem b'hazman hazeh haman. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. אסתר.
Hu Ahasuerus hamole mehodu va'ad kush. Sheva ve'esrim mea medina. Bayamim hahem. Keshevet hamelech Ahasuerus al kisei malchuto. Asher bishushan habera. Bishnat shalosh lemalcho, asa mishtei lachol sarav avadav, hail paras umadai, hapart mim v'sarai hamedunat lefanav.
Baharato et osher kavod, malchuto ve'et yakar tiferet gedulato, yamim rabim, 80 יום. ובמלאת הימים האלה עשה המלך לכל העם הנמצאים בשושן הבירה למגדול ועד קטן, משתה 7 ימים בחצר גינת ביתן המלך. הור כפס ותכלת אחוז, בחבלי ווץ, וארגמן על גלילי כסף, ועמודי 6 מיטות זהב, וכסף על רצפת בהץ, ו6 ודר וסוכרת.
ואשתות בכלי זהב וכלים מכלים שונים ויין מלכות רב כיד המלך. ואשתיה חדת אין אונס כי כן. ייסד המלך על כל רב ביתו לעשות כרצון איש ואיש. גם ושתי, we haven't anything for Vashti, which is גם ושתי המלכה עשתה משתי בנים בית המלכות אשר למלך אחשוורוש.
I'm here now. It happened in the days of Ahasuerus, a king renowned for drinking and for wealth. His courtiers, stupid and nefarious, his right-hand man, Haman, a bloke of stealth, supine on his couch of burnished gold and drunk with wine poured into silver cups. He gave his orders loud and in a voice so bold for Vashti to appear, and with him sup. She was his queen, of course, an independent voice, but refusing to come naked to the court, he banished her and passed a law of choice, that Persian wives should not their husbands thwart.
On Zoom? Alex, if you can please unmute. Thank you. Can you say something now? Can you say something now, Alex? Oh. Oh no, we can't hear you. Oh no. Can you hear us? Can you hear us at least? Yes, you can hear us. Oh no. Oh no, I'm really sorry. That has to be me, reader C. Yeah. So we can't hear you here. There is some technical problem. Let's come back to it. איש יהודי היה בשושן הבירה, ושמו מרדכי. בן יאיר, בן שימי, בן קיש, איש ימיני. אשר הגלה מירושלים, עם הגולה אשר הגלתה עם יחניה מלך יהודה, אשר הגלה נבוכדנצר מלך בבל, ויהי אומן את הדסה. Interesting name, isn't it? היא אסתר, בת דודו, כי אין לה אב ועם. והנערה יפת תואר וטובת מראה, ובמות אביה ואמה לקחה מרדכי לו לבת.
Now, in Shushan there lived a righteous Jew. His name was Mordecai, an exile with the king, and with him lived his niece, a girl of virtue, as fresh as linen on a morn in spring. The king, now lonesome without his beauteous queen, had issued forth an edict to the realm that virgins should be sought, and with cosmetics preen themselves in readiness to stand at royal helm. For reasons unbeknownst to us, young Esther, shapely and of lovely form, was taken too, and like the virgin goddesses of Vesta, found favor with the king when in his view. The king loved Esther more than any other girls. He made her queen, and on her head a crown did squash her hair and flatten all the curls. But Mordecai did fret and glower with a frown. One time he sat within the palace gate and heard a plot to assassinate the king. And this he told to Esther, and thus averted fate. The two impaled, the hero noted for his noble sting.
אחר הדברים האלה גדל המלך אחשוורוש את המן בן המדתה הגגי, וינצחו ישם עד כיסו מעל כל השרים אשר איתו. וכל עבדי המלך אשר בשער המלך קוראים ומשתחווים להמן. כי הן ציווה לו המלך, ומרדכי לא יקרא ולא ישתחווה.
Now, after all these things, the king did raise to elevated status wicked Haman. And all the courtiers bowed and knelt in praise before this heinous evil highwayman. Yet Mordecai, that righteous Jewish man, refused to kneel, defying Haman and his mighty rage. I worship God and God alone, he said. I will not break the covenant or from it disengage. Then Haman planned to do away with Jews, and hissing bitterly into the royal ears, he said, there is a people scattered and dispersed, and when they're gone, I promise there will be no tears. The king removed the ring from off his hand and handed it to Haman with these words, do what you want with these dispersed throughout our land, for they are nothing here but lumpish bits of earth. When Mordecai had learned of this decree, he tore his clothes and garbed in sack and ash, he cried out loudly, "Ach, how bitterly this courtier doth our people sell for cash."
So now we say thank you to the first group of readers and invite the second group of readers on our beamer.
ויאמר מרדכי להשיב אל אסתר, אל תדמי בנפשי, להימלט בית המלך וכל היהודים. כי אם ההרש תהרשי בעת הזאת, רבע והצלה יעמוד ליהודים ממקום אחר. ואת ובית אביך תאבדו, יומי יודע, אם לעת כזאת הגעת למלכות.
ותאמר אסתר להשיב אל מרדכי, לך כנוס את כל היהודים הנמצאים בשושן, וצומו עלי, ואל תאכלו ואל תשתו 3 ימים, לילה ויום, גם אני דברתי עצום כן, ובכן אבוא אל המלך אשר לכדת, וכאשר עבדתי. ויעבור מרדכי, ויעש ככל אשר ציוותה עליו אסתר.
Do not imagine, said the wise old Jew, that you'll escape from Haman with your life. This man is evil and has provoked a coup. What can you do as queen and royal wife? Assemble all the Jews of Shushan city and fast for me. For 3 days do not eat. I'll find the wretched king and plead for pity. Perhaps, she said, we can this edict beat.
ויבוא המלך והמן לשתות עם אסתר המלכה. ויאמר המלך לאסתר גם ביום השני במשתה היין. מה שאלתך אסתר המלכה ותינתן לך. ומה בקשתך עד חצי המלכות ותיעש. ותען אסתר המלכה ותאמר, אם מצאתי חן בעיניך המלך, ואם על המלך טוב, תינתן לי נפשי בשאלתי ועמי בבקשתי.
כי נמכרנו אני ועמי להשמיד, להרוג ולאבד, ואילו לעבדים ולשפחות נמכרנו, חרשתי. כי אין הצר שווה בנזק המלך. ויאמר המלך אחשוורוש, ויאמר לאסתר המלכה, מי הוא זה ואיזה הוא אשר מלאו ליבו לעשות כן? ותאמר אסתר, איש צר ואויב, המן הרע הזה, והמן נבעט מלפני המלך והמלכה.
In royal robes, she stood within the inner court, and there the king his lovely wife espied. And from within his plush and pompous fort, he heard her troubled and uneasy sigh. "I'll give you half the kingdom," he replied. "What is your wish? What is your request?" "Please come," she said, "tomorrow night for tea, and bring that Haman too at your behest." Oh, happy man that Haman when he knew that fry and tie were on the evening's menu, that he would sup with Esther and her crew, and soon the Jews would have what was their due. But when he saw that Mord at palace gate, who did not rise or even stir on his account, he ground his teeth and built a hangman's stake, and then his wife, his girl, he did recount.
That night, the king was wakeful and could not sleep. He read of Mordecai, so noble and so brave, he summoned Haman, villain, hated creep, to honor him who had his royal life thus saved. Now, Mordecai was clothed in royal robes and raised into the saddle of a horse, and Haman, villain and a xenophobe, protested loudly till his voice was hoarse. A second banquet followed with the queen. "We have been sold," she said, "to be destroyed, and this one here, with cruelty upon his mien, imagines he can mix with oi polloi. Now Haman cringed in pride and threw his weight upon the queen who lay upon a couch, and when the king discovered all too late, he slung the greasy slouch beyond the gate. And that was that, in truth, and all was well. The king annulled the edict pretty soon, the Jews were saved, and no one did themselves for blessings, and for life became their boon.
Okay. Vayasem Hamelech Achashverosh Mas'al Haaretz Ve'ye Hayam V'chol Maaseh Takpo Ugivurato Ufarashat Gidelat Mordechai Asher Gidulo HaMelech Halochem Kituvim al Sefer Divirei Hayamim Lemachei Madai, thank you, Ufaras. Ki Mordechai Hayehudi Mashne Lemelech Achashverosh Ugadol La Yehudim Ratsui Lechov is Echav Doresh Tov Leamo V'dover Shalom Lechol Zar'o.
You'll see we've missed out chapters 8 and 9. You're wondering what we've hidden from this tale. This story ends not just with Haman crying, but sadly with revenge on quite a scale. As liberal Jews, we'd rather not pronounce the details of this shameful aspect here. And so it is with pain we do denounce the triumph of the Jews against their fear. Revenge is far from sweet, we know that well. And this is just a tale from days of yore. Far-fetched hyperbole, this story tells, but with some truth of Jewish history's law.
Let's say thank you to all our readers. And I know that for many of them it was the first time ever they read in Hebrew or in public in the synagogue. And I think that they all, as well as all the audience who did all the sound effects as well, we all deserve quite a significant round of applause. What's going to happen now is we are going to have a little bit, about 10 minutes of reception in the main foyer, and then we will split into two groups. One is the Comedy and Connection event. Those of you who are going there, you know about it. But the rest will go, or we were invited upstairs, and I want to say a special thank you to Sarah Lasha, one of our readers, for initiating it, for stepping in and providing her leadership in this, and suggesting that we should not only have events for a separate group of people, but for all. And together with Rabbi Alex, they will go upstairs in the assembly hall and have a discussion group and a little bit of a tea as well. So everybody is welcome to stay. You are either, please join for Comedy and Connection night if you go there, or are upstairs for the event. Thank you very much, and the live stream will finish very soon in a few seconds, and we will all invite it into the foyer. Thank you. Purim Sameach.